Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. Let's get started. Set this card over here so I can see it. There we go. Okay, and used Wildly Happy. I used the elephants. And for that card I used a couple of sentiments from here. And then for all the greenery, I use the Tropical Chic. The Tropical Chic is retiring, so I want to get as much use out of it as I can. It's one of my favorites. And I think I'm going to use You Are the Greatest out of this one for the sentiment this time. I'm also using a couple of the dies. Okay, so I'm using the elephant. Let me just put it in my box. Leaves. There's the sentiment. I have a piece of the braided burlap trim. This is also retiring. I have some strands of the jute or the burlap ribbon that I've made into bows. I pulled out several strands and then I made a bow with it. I'm going to be using Wink of Stella, Basic Gray, Garden Green, Mossy Meadow, and Pear Pizzazz ink, a piece of Whisper White, and I believe it's, this one's a little bit smaller I think than the other one. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I have my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I need to score it at 4 1/4. Let's bring in our scoring tool. Let's see, score it at 4 1/4. Turn it over. My bone folder is not where it belongs. Okay, there's our card base. I have some scraps. I have a piece of Garden Green and a piece of Pear Pizzazz to die cut those leaves out of. And that's all we're going to need, so let's get started. Put this away for a minute. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is bring in the gray ink. I'm going to stamp the elephant in the Basic Gray. I'm going to stamp that basically in the center, but just a tiny bit over to the right hand side. Good coverage and I don't have any hairs on it. Just right about there. Wherever you want, it's fine. Okay. And I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that gray ink on a block. You can do it in the lid if you like. I just prefer this method. I don't like the messiness in my lid. It just drives me nuts. And I'm going to go in and first try to move some of this ink. It's not. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that ink there, and wherever it's dark, going to be darkest, like under his ears, under his head. Down here under his belly, back legs, I'm going to come in with this gray and I'm going to add some shadowing. I think I need to get a little more of this ink in there because it's kind of dry. Okay. His knee here. Along his back. Where these lines are, I'm not really being neat. I'm just kind of scribbling on a little bit of gray. I think it needs more. Go back and add a little bit more. A little bit on the baby elephant. A little bit more down here. Not most of this isn't going to show anyway, but okay, I basically just scribble on color. And then I'm going to just go ahead and fill in the rest. I know there's no such thing as glitter elephants, but every card needs a little bit of something. Okay, and we're done with that. Put that aside. Okay, now we're going to come in with our Pear Pizzazz. And this leaf. And we're going to stamp that a couple of times. Down here at the bottom, we're going to go over his feet just a tiny bit. So we want one over here next to him. We want another one over here. You don't need to worry about the bottom too much because we are going to be covering that up. And that's one thing I forgot to tell you. We have a piece of Designer Series paper. This is the Magnolia paper. It's just a strip. I think it's just 1 inch. Yep, 1 inch. Okay. Now let's put one more here. Okay. And then we're going to come in with the Mossy Meadow. And this leaf. We're going to add some of those. Oops. Oh, I think this one needs re-inked. Let's see if I can... Well, I think most of that's going to be covered up anyways. Now let's do another one higher. Like there. That's better. Sure it's good and inked. We need some over here. And one over here. Okay, now we'll come in with this leaf and the garden green. You don't see much of it, but I've got a couple of those. One up here. Let's do one here. Okay. And I think I did one over here, but it doesn't show, so we'll just add another one anyway. Just like that. I just filled in that bottom with the leaves. Okay. Oh, we'll use the garden green. I forgot to do the sentiment. And this time I'm going to try that other sentiment. Make sure I know how it's going to stamp. Okay. So I need it to be like that. Okay. Link it up really well. Don't press too hard because it does have ink smoosh on it. I think I'm going to put it over here. There's more room. Perfect. All right. Now I'm going to go cut out those leaves. I have those two little pieces. I need this one cut out with the garden green. I think it'll fit on there. Okay. And then I want this one cut out with pear pizzazz. A little piece of pear pizzazz. And I will be right back when I'm done cutting those out. Okay, I'm back. That one just fell right out of its die. This one, they come out quite nicely. Okay, put these dies away so I don't lose them. Alright, so now we're going to bring in our card base. This is going to go on the front of that card like that. And this piece here is going to go across the bottom like that. So let's go ahead and mount that on there. That other one is almost empty, so I have to fight with it to get it to come out. I don't feel like fighting out in the video. Go ahead and put this on. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to bring in some little mini dimensionals. We need to put the ribbon on first. I think I'm gonna just, sorry about that, run a bead of glue. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, my son was sending me a message. I turned my phone off so it doesn't bling like that. Alright, let's glue this down, hopefully it still sticks. Oh, I need to trim it just a hair. Scissors. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to bring these in. I'm going to put the mini dimensionals, 3 of them, along the back of it. So let's get that one. Okay. Take the backs off. I'm going to lay this like this. And I'm going to lay this one like this. And we're going to glue them down. And now dimensionals on that catches that one, so we don't. Then we just need to bring in our bow and a glue dot. Put the bow. Okay, then we can mount it to our card. And the card base is the one that's retiring, Call Me Clover. Just because I wanted to use it up, but you could use one of these colors, that would be good too. There we go. There's a card we just did together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.